Development Plan Model for Managers. This model incorporates the specific questions and scripting, providing a robust framework for creating a personalized development plan. 1. Define contribution objective. Identify how the individual can add the most value to the team and organization. Questions to ask. What do you see as your greatest strengths and how can they best serve the team? What areas of the business do you feel most passionate about contributing to? How do you see yourself supporting your manager and colleagues in their roles? Scripting. James, let's start by understanding where you feel you can make the biggest impact. What do you think your strengths are, and how can we leverage them to support the team? For example, you're great at managing bids. How can we expand that role to take more off Jim's plate? Action steps. Conduct a strengths assessment, e.g., Clifton Strengths or SWOT analysis. Align strengths with team needs and define specific areas of contribution. 2. Establish measurement criteria. Objective. Clarify how performance will be evaluated and what success looks like. Questions to ask. What metrics or outcomes best reflect your contributions? How do you want to be recognized for your work? What would a win look like for you in the next 6 to 12 months? Scripting. James, let's talk about how we'll measure your success. What do you think are the most important metrics for your role? For example, reducing errors in bids or improving project turnaround times. How do you want to be recognized when you achieve these goals? Action steps. Set SMART, specific, measurable, achievable, relevant, time-bound goals. Define key performance indicators, KPIs, for success. 3. Determine value level objective. Define the level of impact and responsibility the individual is willing to take on. Questions to ask. What level of responsibility are you comfortable taking on? How much of your manager's workload would you like to take off their plate? What would it take for you to feel like you're making a significant impact? Scripting. James, let's discuss the level of responsibility you're ready for. For example, could you take on 25 to 50% of Jim's workload in specific areas, like bid management? What would it take for you to feel confident and impactful in that role? Action steps. Identify specific tasks or projects to take ownership of. Set targets for workload redistribution or process improvements. 4. Envision legacy objective. Help the individual consider how they want to be remembered and the values they want to embody. Questions to ask. How do you want your team members to describe working with you? What kind of leader or teammate do you aspire to be? What values do you want to embody in your work? Scripting. James, let's think about the legacy you want to leave. How do you want your colleagues to describe working with you? For example, do you want to be known as reliable, approachable, and supportive? What values do you want to embody in your work? Action steps. Create a personal mission statement or values framework. Reflect on behaviors that align with those values and implement them daily. 5. Identify skills to develop. 3 key skills. Objective. Pinpoint specific skills to focus on for professional growth. Questions to ask. What 3 skills would you like to focus on developing this year? Are there any technical or soft skills you feel are holding you back? How can your manager and team support you in acquiring these skills? Scripting. James, let's identify 3 skills you'd like to develop this year. For example, maybe you want to improve your project management, communication, or technical expertise. What's holding you back in these areas, and how can we support you? Action steps. Conduct a skills gap analysis. Create a learning plan with resources, e.g., training, mentorship, hands-on projects. 6th, outline development activities. Objective. Define the steps required to achieve growth goals, including activities, learning opportunities, and support structures. Questions to ask. What specific activities or projects will help you develop the skills you've identified? What kind of learning environments or resources do you need? How can we structure your workload to allow time for growth? Scripting. James, let's map out the steps to get you where you want to be. For example, Would hands-on projects, mentorship, or specific training programs help you develop the skills we've identified? How can we adjust your workload to make time for these activities? Action steps. Schedule regular learning sessions, e.g., workshops, online courses. Assign stretch projects to apply new skills in real world scenarios. Pair with a mentor or coach for guidance and feedback. 7. Envision the future you, 3-year vision. Objective. Help the individual articulate their ideal self in 3 years, including their role, responsibilities, and impact. Questions to ask. Where do you see yourself in 3 years? What kind of leader or professional do you want to become? What milestones do you need to hit to get there? Scripting. James, let's envision where you want to be in 3 years. For example, do you see yourself as a senior project manager or team leader? What kind of leader do you want to become? And what milestones will get you there? Action steps. Create a vision board or written statement of their 3-year goals. Break down long-term goals into actionable short-term milestones. Generic development plan template. Step by steps 1. Define contribution. Identify strengths and align them with team needs. 2. Establish measurement criteria. Set SMART goals and define KPIs. 3. Determine value level, identify tasks or projects to take ownership of. 4. Envision legacy, create a personal mission statement or values framework. 5. Identify skills to develop. Conduct a skills gap analysis and create a learning plan. Outline development activities. Schedule learning sessions, assign stretch projects, and pair with a mentor. 7. Envision the future you. Create a vision board or written statement of 3-year goals. In summary, this detailed development plan model, enriched with specific questions and scripting, provides a clear roadmap for managers like James to grow and align their goals with team and organizational needs. By using this framework, you can foster self-awareness, accountability, and meaningful progress in your team members.